Welcome back, guys, to another video. It's your boy Wraith Hoops as always, and we have an important topic we need to talk about. Lonzo Ball has been in the discussions across the NBA world for the past couple weeks and honestly for the past 2 years, and none of it has been for the right reasons. It's not for off the court drama, it's because he can't stay healthy on the court. Seeing him go from playing in an electrifying Chino Hills offense, going to play at UCLA, dominating there, going to the Lakers and not really finding his footing there, but getting to the Pelicans and finding some more of a comfortable area around himself, it was fun. It was fun, honestly. There's no other way you could put it. And then when they went from the Pelicans to the Bulls, while I wasn't a Bulls fan, I watched more of the Bulls basketball team because Lonzo Ball was the point guard that they were missing. They needed somebody that could probably distribute the ball and also set the tone on defense and provide some good spot up shooting, which Lonzo has been known to do and has progressively gotten better with and refound his shooting touch since coming back into the league. He was known as a shooter in high school. He was known as a shooter in college. Even though his efficiency wasn't terrific, he was known for shooting regardless. So coming into the league and seeing that he only shot 30% in his first season and 32% in the second season, it left much to be desired, understandably so. But when he went to the Pelicans, he jumped up 37.5, 37.8%. He was hitting. Now, obviously, he wasn't averaging some exorbitant amount of points. It went from 12 to 14, almost 15, which was nice. And that's why the Bulls thought that it was a good deal. And hindsight, I still say it was a good deal. If you see a player that's averaging 14.5 points on solid efficiency, shooting 37.5% from three, and he also plays terrific defense, averaging a steal and a half a game and almost 6 assists, that's a point guard you want on your team. And that's why the Bulls pulled the trigger. Now, obviously, he only played 35 games in his first season with them, obviously averaging 13 points, off 42% from the field, but he was also 42.3% from the three-point line. So that makes a difference. That just tells us that most of his shots came from behind the arc and not at the rim. Now, he still did average 5 assists and 5 rebounds, and he actually upped his steals to the highest average of his career at 1.8, even though it was across only 35 games of a sample size. But the issue is, ever since then, we haven't seen him touch the court. And that hurts us a lot because he's known for having just numerous injuries across the entirety of his career. This is the 4th knee surgery he's had in his life on that left knee, and the 3rd one since he's been with the Bulls. That surgery was back in March, and they said that last month or a couple months back, he finally got off crutches. So there is hope. They did shut him down for the season, and so a lot of people are going haywire wondering if this is the end. Me personally, I'm saying no. Is it going to be hard? Absolutely. And it is a shocker that they decided to shut him down for the entirety of the 2023-2024 season when it hasn't even gotten underway yet. I do understand where they're coming from, though. Obviously, he's very tender. This is the like I said, this is the 4th lifetime surgery that he's had on that specific part of his body. So you can't afford to play with it at all, because they thought he was okay before, and they found that there was bone fragments inside of the cartilage after the surgery was completed. So they had to go back in again and move some cartilage around so that they could hopefully clear up that tension and remove that pain from him so that he wouldn't feel awkward and feel just an intense writhing pain while he was going about daily activities, which was where he was essentially. I'm going to go ahead and recap a decent amount of his injury history. 2021 with the Pelicans, he had a thumb sprain. He also ended up catching COVID like most of the players did, which was to be expected. This was in December of 2021. He then got his meniscus tear in January of 2022. Now, they thought it was a knee bruise, and that just simply wasn't the case. He did end up getting surgery at the end of January, though. The issue was that just kind of continued to compound as time went on. So he obviously signed that 4-year, $80 million deal back with Chicago in the 2021 season. They did have insurance on that, and they're trying to get that cashed out to keep him on that roster. They have no plans on waiving him, though they have shut him down for the season. And that's one of the big reasons why I believe he has the potential to come back. Now, will he continue to make strides? I honestly couldn't tell you at this point because we need to see him touch the court first. He was growing, but he seemed to always have a setback. if he can get on the court and stay on the court. He is only 25 years old right now. So if he doesn't play at all this season, he'll be 26 going into this following season. And that's still not old at all. That's mid-20s. So it will be more of a thing of, is this the Lonzo that we're going to see for the rest of his career once he starts playing? But there's still going to be room for improvement and growth. You can also expect the Bulls to look like a better team when he's on the floor. Because while they weren't necessarily a contender, they were just simply a funner basketball team, and their playstyles were more conducive to winning when Lonzo Ball was on the floor with Zach LaVine. They've still been a pretty good defensive team, but on the offensive side of the ball, they just tend to sputter out at times. And Lonzo was helping to smooth those things out. After his initial surgery in January of 2022, he did end up getting a cartilage transplant in that March. He had an arthroscopic surgery at the end of January in 2022 and was expected to only be out 6 to 8 weeks. But in September of that same year, he had an arthroscopic debridement surgery on his left knee and was expected to miss the start of the 2022-2023 season. But February 2023, they just shut him down for the season. After the third surgery, he's good to go. If rehab goes well and what they're telling us is true and he's off his crutches and he's feeling in better spirits and he feels like he's capable of coming back and he's positive about it in the outlook and they have no intentions on cutting him, I believe that this is nowhere near the end of Lonzo Ball. Let's remember that we're talking about somebody that's been highly adaptable. He's dealt with injuries over the entirety of his NBA career. I like to rationalize it as, could this injury potentially be as bad as Kevin Durant when he tore his Achilles? An Achilles tear is almost certainly the end of the prime for any phenomenal basketball talent in the world in NBA history. KD proved that that is not the case, at least not for everybody. I feel like Lonzo Ball's tears and his injuries are not as significant as the Achilles tear that Kevin Durant faced. And because of that, I'm not really ready to throw the towel in on him yet. That being said, he has a good and stable foundation to stand on. Obviously, with the one season that he did get to play with the Bulls, he only averaged 13, 5, and 5. But if that's the floor, that's a very doable thing if I'm him. Me coming back, that's something that I'm capable of doing. Obviously, he got most of his points. He did shoot kind of poor from the field just because most of his shots came from three. And if you look at it in that light, he looks like a better shooter because 42.3% from three is great. 42.3% from the field, not so great. But if you take enough threes, it makes sense that that percentage would be a lot closer to that number. It would be great to see him play closer to the playoff time, even in meaningless games, just to get his feet wet so that next season he's not fretting over the major comeback and how he's going to play. Even if he doesn't, and they do first bring him back next season with another year of full rehab and then the opportunity to play well and better with his teammates, I could see him making that next stride. With any luck, this has not been the last we've seen of Lonzo Ball, and he will pick up the ball once again in the future. With that being said, good morning and good evening and good night, no matter where you are on the globe watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. We're chasing 1K, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.